little butt shot for our Facebook Live.
You guys are welcome. You guys are super welcome. Hey, Patsy. That was my backside coming right at you. Fantastic. I'm feeling really good. This is a really auspicious beginning of a show. I feel really put together. Mel's tired.
Awesome.
This is really going to work out.
Well, then you're gonna be the base.
Yeah, I'm going to be the base
in the pyramid.
Okay, right on. I'm going to hold it down. I'm going to hold it down, and just like today is Equal Pay Day. That was the worst transition ever. Oh my god. Hello. Let me start over.
Let's back up.
This is Woke with Kids.
Yes,
Hi.
Yes, please. Let us say hello to our Woke with Kids listeners. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Thank you already for listening. That's how grateful we are. I appreciate it. God, my chair is squeaking. I really need to get this thing oiled up. This is going to be a great show, guys. Already we're off to a fantastic Woke with Kids start. This is episode 88.
OMG.
Yeah, I know. That is a little bit crazy. that we've been doing
team.
this. Go team!
Hey, I feel like we can celebrate that a little bit.
That's kind of dope.
It's not easy.
It definitely
always.
It isn't. Yeah, it's like it's hard putting out a product basically when you're raising other life forms and they require attention and things like that. I don't know how these like YouTube families of people who
there's people working way harder than us, honey.
I know that's what I'm saying. I don't know how.
Like
I don't know
way
how
harder with the amount and the things, and you're always like, let's do it another time this week, and I'm like, what?
They're not even doing it for a good cause. They're like just doing it because they're trying to get paid.
I'm not mad at the good cause is money.
Yeah, and I'm not even mad. I ain't mad at you. But we're doing it for purely a good cause and because we like talking.
I was gonna say we like talking to each other and to people, and we like talking about the things that are going on. I know I do.
I do.
I think that's the thing too. When you work or work having kids and taking care of kids or whatever, like your whole day just flows by and you're not really engaging with your friends.
Yes.
People that you want to have these conversations with.
Absolutely.
You might throw out a little something, but you can't really get into it. Here we can get into it.
Yes.
Absolutely. And or we can be completely candid and say our true opinions on it that we probably wouldn't say to our coworkers.
Yeah.
Certain, ones of them, and then you certainly can't really talk about with the kids in any real thoughtful manner. Usually, especially not the baby. I mean,
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's like
so. I'm grateful for the time and the space, and I feel like you are too.
Yeah,
so.
you're nailing it. It's exactly right. It's like middle age. Unless you get paid to talk for a living, unless you're like a professional pundit or something. Most of the time, it's like life does not really require you to look that deeply into it.
Or like, and more, I feel like also life is not constantly asking your opinion.
Yes, it's a really savage. It's actually a really savage wake up call from college because you get out of high school where they're telling you like, okay, you go to college and then you're going to learn how to think. They're going to teach you how to really think for yourself. And then you get to college and you have this experience of sort of broadening your mind and exposing yourself to these new things. And you're like, oh shit, I'm challenging myself, and the professor is constantly asking your opinion on things and challenge you to have a new opinion and all of this kind of stuff, and then you get out and you get a job, and then it's like, fuck your opinion. We don't give a fuck about your opinion here. Like file these files.
Well, the baby
copy
is
these
like
copies.
Telling me like I put him in his car seat, and literally it takes me 5 seconds, 10 seconds maybe to move out of the way to close the door. And before I can do that, I'm halfway in between. He's like, close the door. And I'm like, look, motherfucker. Of course. What the fuck? Like, I don't have enough to keep track of. Yes, I know. I will close the door. But that's not my right mind. Obviously, he's a child. But, it's constant. So now his new thing is, what's his name again? So, wait, we got to tell this story. So we finally showed our older son, Langston, who's 9, The Matrix. He's almost 10. We kind of talked about it. There's so many references to it in the cartoons he watched, Lego Ninjago and things like that. And so we watch it, and the whole time Ellison is like, what's his name again? So at first we totally humored it. We're like, that's Neo. What's his name again? And that's Morpheus. What's his name again? We're like, her. That's Trinity. Next scene. what's his name again? That's Neo. And it went on, and you and I were going back and forth, and I wanted to sincerely engage with him, but after a while, we're like, be quiet. Watch the movie.
Yeah.
He was like trying. He's on that where now he's like, oh, there's another level to this shit.
Yes.
He's like, there's levels to this shit. So now he's really trying to engage and like assert himself into a conversation.
Yes.
His presence, you know. And it's great and it's beautiful and it's appropriate and I couldn't be happier. But it was just hilarious and sometimes it is taxing.
Yeah, you don't realize how incremental building a building speech is.
Yes.
And not just the ability to put together sounds, but also the ability to put together the ideas that the sounds represent. And the thing is, we get the ideas a lot clearer and a lot sooner
than the words.
Than we get the words.
Oh my God.
So he's got very sophisticated ideas about what he should and should not be up to and all this kind of thing. But when it comes to expressing himself, he's struggling because he's trying to express himself at the same level as his 10-year-old brother.
Yes, exactly.
And he feels like, why can't I do it?
And I love when he'll be really using like complete sentences throughout the day, and then all of a sudden he'll just start pointing. He'll want something, yes. And he won't say. He'll just yes. point, and he'll lift my arm up because the juice is on top of the refrigerator, so he can't get like 3 in a day. Right. Or the cheesy poofs, those kind of snacks are on a higher shelf, and so he can't get them for himself. And sometimes he'll just point and like bring a bowl and then point to himself. It's lovely. God bless him.
God bless him.
What a gift he is.
I love being a part of the process of watching a human being assembled psychically, physically. It's really an honor and a privilege. But as Mel and I keep reiterating, it's exhausting. It is a constant pouring of yourself into another being, and sometimes at the end of the day, it's difficult to recognize what's left of you. But here's the thing about that, being a parent, I think, and I don't want, and we're going to move on to some politics. We're going to bum you out. Just wait for a second, Jesus. Let us talk about our kids. Let us show you some cards, some pictures. Anyways, but one of the things is like you start to learn as a parent, if there's any spiritual lesson in it, it's that none of this shit is yours to begin with.
Exactly.
You know, that everything that we have was borrowed from our parents or whoever it was that invested the time and the energy and the patience into putting in us together, and now we have the responsibility to put this other person
I feel like
together.
Our Facebook Live audience member Patsy knows this really well. I've seen her in pictures watching at least one of her grandsons, the youngest, if not both, and so she totally knows what we're talking about in terms of that constant engagement as they build the blocks. One of her grandchildren is only a little bit younger than, or maybe almost a year, I don't know, Ellison, who's almost 3. Mm-hmm. But yes, good times. Good times.
It's great. It's great raising kids. It's exhausting, but it's rewarding. You got to have somebody to wipe your ass when you're old. Oh, and all of us cannot afford nurses. So, okay, let's move on to some news, people.
You can also practice some Kegels and things like that to maintain your muscle strength down there, and hopefully you won't really need anyone to wipe your ass.
All of that stuff. But sometimes, you know what? Life gets in the way.
It's nice when they're there, for sure.
It is nice when they're there.
All right, what are we talking about first?
First of all, today, Tuesday, which is my least favorite day of the week, because it's such a fucking bummer. It's not. The weekend is so far away, and there's no hope in sight. The week is so long and anyways, Tuesday is Equal Pay Day, and that is...
Bitch better have my money.
Right? And women of color, newsflash, face more than a gender wage gap. They face a racial one too.
No.
So I know this guy, guys. I don't want. This is a hot take. Okay, I know this is going to come as a surprise to most of our listeners. You guys, I know you don't pay attention to the news. It's total. Yeah, exactly. This is totally fake news. But so April 10th is Equal Pay Day, and it was created to draw attention to the gender wage gap. This particular date was not randomly selected. It's supposed to symbolize how far women have to work into 2018 to catch up to the same amount men made in 2017. Okay, let me just repeat that one more time.
Whoa.
It symbolizes how far women had to work into 2018 to catch up with what I made in 2017.
So every year, a woman needs to work an additional 4 months.
A whole quarter.
To more than to...
Right, you're right. More than a quarter. A quarter
to
and some
make
change.
what a man made in 12 months.
Amazing.
Okay, that sucks.
Well, no, it's great, honey. Trump was elected to make America great, and this is the greatness he was promising us, okay? We're going back to the 50s. We're going back to the 40s. We're going back to greatness, okay, guys?
Is it just me, or does that whole theory kind of seem to be crashing and burning before our very eyes?
I don't know, but according to the...
It might be a slow burn.
Maybe a slow burn. Maybe the frog is a little warm now. According to the National Women's Law Center, white women, on average, make 79 cents for every dollar made by a man, while black women make 63 cents. Native American women make 57 cents, and Latina women make 54 cents. Asian American women had the highest pay on average, 87 cents to every dollar made by a man. And before you feel any jealousy or any envy, remember, that's still 87% of what a man is making. Okay.
Wow. I mean, it's completely unsurprising. We see what this country was founded on and how it operates. And, to me, this is just another spoke on the wheel of us bringing attention to the inequities and the systemic injustices and institutionalized racism and sexism and ageism and ability, and homophobia and all the things that are woven into the fabric of how this society functions. So we're on shaky ground. We fucking elected Trump. It's all shaky because everything's coming loose. We gotta shake out that dirt, take that old blanket, that old rug, beat the fuck out of it, get all that dust and shit out, leave it in the sunshine, some fresh air, and then you can bring it back in.
Yep.
And move forward. Because
hey, what's up? What's up, October Blue? What's going on?
Right now, it's all out of sorts.
Yeah, it's all. I was musing on Facebook that basically ooh, y'all heard that? We got the garage open because it's almost summer. Y'all know what time it is. We got the garage open. Y'all about to hear the street. We out in LA, baby. Okay, anyway. Yeah, I was musing to myself it's when we invented reality TV as a concept, the idea that TV could present to us some sort of reality. When we were watching it and knew that it was bullshit. We knew even when we were watching The Real World, the first exercise in this.
Oh, that's how you know we're old.
We knew it was bullshit.
The Real World and
right?
The Road Rules.
Yeah, we knew that was I mean, Kevin Powell, somebody mentioned this on my page. Kevin Powell in the first season of The Real World, nigga was gone off the show 60% of the show. He wasn't even on camera because even he knew at that time, I don't want these motherfuckers all in my business.
And then he had a big conflict or confrontation. I don't really remember that season. I didn't watch it a lot, but obviously I knew about it. And I think the first one that really tipped the scales into mainstream acceptance and started bringing networks a lot of money because it was on the mainstream channels was Survivor. I don't really remember a show before that one.
Well, everything started with Real World, but yeah, then there was so many countless, riffs on it that made more money. Once it got to network television, it just went bonkers.
Oh God, exactly.
And I think, and probably Big Brother was actually probably the biggest manifestation of it, globally. But the musing I had was the minute we invented reality TV, fake news was a fait accompli. It was a logical outcome that once we started giving up the idea that what we were watching on TV, this clearly, although it was unscripted, it was still bullshit. It still wasn't real life. And we were like, okay, this is somehow associated with reality. That allowed for us to embrace a concept like Kim Kardashian and to go, somehow that's reality. Or actually, showing how old we are, Paris Hilton, really.
Oh, and Nicole Richie.
And Nicole Richie.
They were the OGs.
They were the OGs of that. They pioneered this whole thing. And, once we started getting comfortable with that cognitive dissonance of Kim Kardashian is somehow associated with reality, Nicole Richie is somehow associated with reality, that love and hip hop is somehow associated with reality. I
think specifically what is being portrayed is supposed to be reality. So then, now that the news is on, it's is what we're portraying you now reality?
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's not. What they're telling you is not. It's like all the other reality bullshit.
Yes, exactly.
And now, so that's, I feel like, how they make this excuse that you don't want to believe or, even have that conversation with any of the things that doesn't fall in with their ideas and their values.
Well, it's so plausible
what makes them money. Exactly.
I mean, because it's like
20, 30 years plausible.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna
doing
watch
that shit for a minute.
Yeah, if you watch, if you watch CNN or any of these news channels, the sheer volume of filling up 24 hours with content necessitates the fact that you're going to create a lot of bullshit. And so, once you've created that bullshit and you've made money off it, and you become complicit to putting bullshit in the air, in the atmosphere, it's very easy for somebody who wants to, deflect criticism to go like, well, what are you talking about? Those bullshitters?
I was temping at an office, and the front lobby had two huge screens, couches, and then you had to have like a security guard card to get into the main building, right? Mm-hmm. And so I would sit there mostly by myself for 8 hours, and it was just CNN the whole day. So I'd see all the different anchors or whatever.
Right.
But then I'd be like, yo, why are they saying the same fucking thing? They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Ain't no news. What are you saying? You're just saying the same words in a different order. You're not adding anything to the broadcast. So once I saw that CNN did that, and this was probably like 8, maybe not quite 6, 7 years ago, I was like, oh, that's when for me it was like, oh yeah, this is all going downhill. I kind of saw that fake news coming because I'm like, this is bullshit. I don't know if I can say it's fake, but it's definitely some bullshit.
Well, yeah, and exactly. I mean, it's like once you don't have to,
it's selling you something you don't need right now.
Yeah, it's like, and what does fake mean? Fake is one of those concepts that you don't really have to define. Fake is I mean, like I buy is fake. Like if a girl's out in the club rocking fake Gucci, it doesn't mean it's not having a real effect. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a very complicated world we're out here, and we're just slinging these ideas, and I don't feel like we're being educated to actually handle these ideas. These ideas are more dangerous than the goddamn guns. Anyways,
that's why they don't teach that in school.
That's why they don't want. That's exactly right.
Donald McHale.
Yeah, R.I.P. to Donald McHale. He was 87, a Broadway and modern dance choreographer. He's dead now. But
it.
He looks amazing. God, look at this. Look at this picture of him right here, you guys. Look at this guy. Look at that beauty. Right?
Love him.
So Donald McHale was one of the first choreographers to weave the African American experience in the fabric of modern dance, and the first black man to direct and choreograph a Broadway musical, Raisin. He died on Friday at a hospital near his home in Irvine, California. He was 87. Shout out to California. You know what I'm saying? This comes to us from the New York Times, by the way, written by Anita Gates. I like to give credit to these outlets that maintain journalism and integrity.
Okay, so the musical, that he choreographed for was based on A Raisin in the Sun.
I was wondering because I did not know that for sure.
I didn't either.
I didn't want to be ignorant, but I was like, it sounds.
I was
related.
Reading down, and I was like, oh, cool. Yes,
okay, that makes sense.
Yes,
okay.
Thank you. I'm like, okay, I'm not totally ignorant.
Okay, cool. That is him. All right, that's what's up. His wife, Leah Vivante McHale, confirmed to death he was a professor of dance at the University of California, Irvine, for almost 30 years. Also, interesting.
They didn't even know what they had.
Also, interesting, like UC Irvine let that Parkland kid in who didn't get into any of the schools and has
really?
And has that feud going on with Laura Ingraham. Yeah, he got into Irvine.
Nick?
So shout out to Irvine.
No,
I can't remember his name. Good white boy Mick Whiterson. I don't know. Good white kid. I appreciate him. I like him. So anyways, he had been working on Broadway for more than 2 decades when he received his triumph with Raisin, a musical based on Raisin in the Sun, Lorraine Hansberry's classic drama about a black family struggling with loss, change, and identity in mid-century Chicago. So we appreciate you. Thank you for your service, sir.
Hey, Tony nominated. I like him. That's cool. I love that.
We'll take it from here, sir. Thank you for your service. Appreciate you.
Rest in power.
We got to get in a little Trump be Trumping. It wouldn't be a week without a little Trump be Trumping. Although Trump's been having, it's kind of been quiet on the Trump front, except for like his cronies. It's been mostly about Trump's cronies recently.
I haven't heard about any outrageous tweets. I think the shit is, like you said, the frog is feeling the heat.
Yes.
So he's probably yelling at people and demanding answers. I did read that now that John Bolton, that crazy motherfucker, is National Security Advisor.
He's already firing people.
He fucking got rid of the Homeland Security Advisor. What? And someone posted a video, I don't know if it was like Matt Cedillo or whoever, it was like him back in the day at the UN, basically saying the UN is bullshit and that y'all need to go along with whatever the US wants because we're the dominant superpower. I mean, to the United Nations, very like aggressively with his fucking mustache, and I'm like, oh my god, this. Well, I mean,
this dude has been around since the Bush era, and they've been on that stump for a minute. But I mean, yeah, he is. I mean, honestly, how can you trust anybody with a mustache like that? I mean, it's like that's a dictator mustache, man.
Yeah,
Jesus.
And I don't know that there's really anything on. I mean, maybe we just don't know yet. But I was gonna say anything on their agenda that he is going to aggressively push, and will get mixed up in all the constant like who did what, who fucked who. But who's Nikki? What is Nikki Haley on? Because she's actually not totally fucking it up.
She's not crazy. She's a Republican, but she's not.
And that's why he's kind of been nuts. Mad at her a little bit. But then there's so many other fires he can't even pay attention. But is she also doing something with the UN?
She is. She's an ambassador. Yeah, okay. She's an ambassador to the UN. I mean, no. The issue is that it boils down to a fundamental question of like, what are the principles of this administration? And the UN. It's like, okay, we understand that the UN is not perfect. The UN has done fucked up shit. We understand.
Oh my god.
Right? Like, I mean, we understand that, but it's like. It's
those peacekeepers.
It's like some people, we look at a system and we go, all right, well, the system isn't perfect, so that means we got to better ourselves, join the system, and improve it. You know what I mean? Like we got to shore it up. We got to make it better. Like Obamacare is not perfect, so we need to work together to make it better. Or whatever the thing may be. And then it's like some people in a given situation just go, no, that shit is all fucked up. I ain't fucking with that.
I always thought that was crazy, particularly with Obamacare, because I was like, yo, if they really wanted to be popular with their constituents, beloved, whatever, they would just fix Obamacare. They could have just fixed it and then really take the credit.
Yeah, but they couldn't do that because, one, the problem with Obamacare is that Obamacare translates into nigger care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, just to be blunt about it, like, the issue with Obamacare was never that it was a flawed policy, or it was a flawed policy, but it was a flawed policy that was originated by Mitt Romney in Massachusetts, right? So it wasn't that it wasn't something that they couldn't philosophically get behind, but what we have seen in the fullness of time is that the Republicans don't really have any economic or international sort of principles or mores that they stand by. Essentially what they stand by is that we need to get elected, we need to keep getting elected, and the only thing that seems to get us elected since Nixon is the Southern strategy, which is now the neo-racist strategy, the neo-alt-right strategy, all the working class people that are sick of niggas and spics and immigrants taking our jobs. So they just want to get in
power and move the money around?
That's it. That's what this whole presidency is about. This entire presidency and this whole...
Literally, you can see it with this one.
It's a cash grab.
More clearly than any other.
1,000%. It's all about...
Even if you never wanted to believe it.
Money and influence.
Literally, you can see it.
We're in a moment right now of democratic contraction. All around the world, there used to be there was actually this might be one of the articles that comes up later, but there was an election in Hungary, which we thought was a solid democratic country. In other words, what they had was this calculus that was, once a country had free and open elections, and the average per capita income of its citizens was $15,000 American dollars, and that happened over the course of a couple of decades, that was a consolidated democratic country. That basically we could predict up to 50, 75 years from now that would be a democracy. That was our calculus. Now we're seeing these countries that they were democratic for like 20, 25 years, and they're like, fuck this shit, we don't give a fuck. We'll do the Russian oligarchical system, where 12 of us get mad, stupid rich, carve up the country between ourselves, and fuck these peons. You know what I mean? Like, we don't care. Like, we're witnessing a surge globally of authoritarianism, and in America, which is a country which is based on rebellion, which is based on revolution. Believe it or not, you never believe that you never think that shit the way we talk now, but we're a country founded on revolution.
Very true.
You know what I mean? Founded on revolution, and nowadays you got a president and a very solid seeming constituency of 30 to 41% of the country who seems to be like, whatever he says fucking goes.
Yes, literally, yes.
You know what I mean? Like, whatever he says, that's what... Yes, that shit.
And so they'll keep giving him time and chances. Because we are the other side. Doesn't matter if you're progressive or just Democrat, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Right.
By default, you're in opposition.
Yes.
So even for the shit you want. Even if you don't even believe in equality for all.
Right.
You're like, well, don't fuck up the entire environment.
I mean, look, even if I was
like,
just...
well, shit, I want to get my health care, too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, even...
Like, well, like, wait, why are you doing that? I like to go camping.
Even if I'm just sending for my 401k. Even if I'm just like...
All of it.
Because I'm like, right now, he's fucking my... Do you fucking know how I feel right now? My whole family's savings and shit...
Some people don't even have a 401k.
I mean, but like, I'm looking at the stock market, and I'm like, the stock market is my savings account. That is the majority of middle class Americans out there in the world. You know what I mean? And he's out here making these reckless comments about
money moves. No, I'm kidding.
I'm just saying, it's just like, this your king? This your motherfucking king?
Seriously,
I can't fuck with y'all right now.
You need to make that meme.
Huh?
You need to make that meme.
I'm pretty sure someone is
Trump
definitely
looking like he does.
I will find that meme. Because somebody has definitely put that meme out. All right, so I haven't even said what the Trumpy Trump shit is. Okay, so Trump wants... This week, Trump wants to slash welfare with stricter work requirements. Some straight out of a page from Reaganomics. Basically, what this means is that single mothers who already is working 3-4 jobs or raising 3-4 kids, which is 3-4 jobs, okay, without a man, without any support. These people are, you know what I'm saying? And also, by the way, this is a white woman, okay? Okay, the majority of people on welfare are not black people. All right, I know when I was saying this, when I first started off, you was picturing some black woman in the ghetto. No, there's a white woman in a trailer park right now with 3 kids and no father in the household. And what Trump is saying with this new with this new move and this new push is she needs to be out of the house working to get welfare, not to earn money, but to get welfare.
Is oftentimes they are, or sometimes they are.
Working. That's what I'm saying. Like, exactly.
It's just part time. It's not enough.
Yes, exactly. Right.
It's welfare is a supplement. Same thing with the WIC or the SNAP.
That's
the food thing. Like, if you could have money to go buy groceries, you'd fucking go buy the groceries.
You get the.
If I have money to pay my shit, why would I just take? And I still already have to work.
Unbelievable.
So yeah, that's where the racism comes in, because these stricter requirements. What the fuck does that mean? So now they can't even have access to healthy food. Now they can't also be going to school.
Yeah, because who is punished?
Actually do things to better themselves so that they can get off of welfare. You're basically penalizing them for whatever attempts they are already making to transition off of that. And of course, it's not everybody. And there are people abusing the system.
And you're not just penalizing the mother; you're penalizing her children. What is it with Trump's obsession with punishing children for what their parents may or may not have done? DACA.
We'd have to go into his father.
Oh God, you guys do know that like Trump's father was racist as fuck, right? And fully cooperated with zoning laws that discriminated against black people living in his buildings. I mean, you know that, right? Y'all know that. Y'all don't listen to this motherfucking podcast and don't know that. Okay, wait. We don't have time to.
Oh my God, it's bullshit. Talking about welfare system has grown into a large bureaucracy, and it's like, all y'all shit is a huge bureaucracy.
Hold on. If we're gonna read, let's read. All right, so this comes us from Vox. We love Vox by Tara Goldshan. Thank you very much. We appreciate your journalism. We want you to go to Vox and click on it and watch the ads and shit so they can stay in business, because otherwise we wouldn't know what was going on. Can you imagine if there was none of these independent journalists out here actually doing journalism, and like we were just watching Fox News and Breitbart and that's all we knew? Oh my Jesus. Well, anyways, Trump signed the Reducing Poverty in America by Promoting Opportunity and Economic Mobility Executive Order. First of all, can we just say, just because you name a thing puppies and kittens for everybody executive order, does not mean the shit doesn't come with a whole bunch of shit and kitty litter, okay? All right? It still stinks. Just because your name is something pretty. Anyways, he signed the executive order privately Tuesday, ordering secretaries across the government to review their welfare programs, from food stamps to Medicaid to housing programs. And propose new regulations like work requirements. All right, so that's just one. Work requirements, just one regulation. Who knows what other crazy other shit they gonna say?
That's the other thing with the work
drug
thing.
tests.
It's like
every Tuesday.
If a woman is working 20 hours a week, you know, she's paying little to no childcare. You can't at that amount of work usually. So what if the work requirement is now like 35, which is damn near full time? It's like, bitch, if I could afford to work full time, aka pay for full time childcare,
right,
I'd be fucking working 40 hours. Like, what the fuck? So what, you know what I mean? That's how you know it's like disingenuous, and you're out, and the perception is still thinking that it is women of color primarily who are having these benefits and abusing the system.
That's right. Because
that's
myth of
what
the
you'll
welfare.
see on the news.
The myth of the welfare queen.
And it's basically just setting people up to fail, because if you could work full time or more than you were, most people honestly would. Like, they don't want to raise their children being like, this is what you can aspire to, is to get assistance. You know, we're teaching them when they're young, oh, just apply yourself and believe in yourself and love yourself and try, you know. And when you see your parents struggling, it gives you a weird dissonance, because you're like, well, you saying one thing, but I'm not really seeing that. Now, when you see a person change their circumstance and work through and survive things, that's a whole nother level of what a parent is giving you that you can learn from and take with you into your adult life. But, you know, so for that reason, no parent is going to like voluntarily go into this very difficult situation of lack and struggling, you know, just to be able to overcome and prove a point to their kid. They're like, no, they want to offer their child the best life possible. And so by having that stability, you offer that in 9 times out of 10 cases. So it really is upsetting to hear that work requirements, I think that's such a code word for really just fucking up and not appreciating and valuing all the work that mothers do already.
Yeah, I agree. You're 100%. It is
anti-woman home with their children.
It's 1,000% anti-woman. It
makes sense.
It negates. Yeah, it negates. It does negate their already tremendous contribution to the economy. 1,000%. All right. So this one comes to us from Vice News, from Tim Hume. I love Vice News. They get the nitty gritty sometimes. So here's a story. Okay. 67-year-old art dealer Todd Brasner was pronounced dead in the hospital after a fire ripped through his 50th floor apartment in Trump Tower Saturday evening. 4 firefighters received minor injuries attending the blaze. Okay? In the wake of the fire, media reports surfaced that Trump had opposed legislation in the 1990s that would have required sprinklers to be fitted in all residential buildings. The New York Daily News reported that following 2 deadly fires in the city in 1998, Mayor Rudy Giuliani proposed legislation requiring landlords to retrofit their buildings with sprinklers if they didn't already have them. And Trump lobbied hard against the proposal, calling a dozen council members to argue against it, according to a January 1999 article in the New York Post. Okay, first of all, when Rudy Giuliani is the hero of the story, you know you fucking with some evil motherfuckers. I mean, you already know you in a dark. Sorry, you already know you're in a super dark place.
That's why they got beef. I mean, this is one of many reasons. You know,
super
Trump lived there. Trump had a lot of money and wanted to be the boss in New York, and to a large degree, he was.
I gotta do something about this mic. Hold on, guys. Just one sec.
Sorry, guys.
Yep. Because I have the headphones on so I can hear your voice, and it sounds so good when you're talking into the mic. There we go. So whatever it requires for
all
it
right.
to be more in your face. More in your face is good. Okay. All right, guys.
Yeah. I mean, so basically, it says that the law that was eventually signed allowed existing buildings such as Trump Tower, built in 1983, to be exempt from sprinkler requirements. Trump Tower only has sprinklers on the first 10 floors, which have commercial tenants. That's a damn fucking shame, really.
I mean, and it really just illustrates like this your king, y'all. This is the dude. This is his principles and values that he's like, fuck these motherfuckers. Why they need sprinklers and shit?
It over and over, and he's not.
Yeah.
Not like a kind person.
Enough with this Trump be Trump, and I grow weary of him.
Oh God, I didn't watch this. I saw it on when I was at acupuncture or whatever.
We got to do it,
but I didn't really listen to it.
Mark. Let's take a listen to. We got to talk about
Marky Mark.
Zuckerberg made his first appearance, I think, in front of Congress. I saw SNL where they did the impression of him, and I thought the impression, at first when I saw the impression, I was like, why they fucking with him? It's kind of over, like, you know what, they just making this generic kind of, caricature of a tech dude, of a smart, nerdy dude or whatever. But when I heard that motherfucker talk, he sounded just like that shit. He sounded like an alien attempting to approximate human speech. I was like,
really?
Yo, wait till you hear this shit. Okay. Okay, there we go. Keep scoop just a tiny bit.
I'm here.
I'm sorry. I'm just being a producer.
Would you be comfortable sharing with us the name of the hotel you stayed in last night?
No.
What was the question? I missed it.
If you messaged anybody this week, would you share with us the names of the people you've messaged?
Senator, no, I would probably not choose to do that publicly here.
I think that may be what this is all about.
Wow, look at all those cameras in his.
Look at all those cameras. I saw that.
It's like 30 people less than
in 2015, we heard the report that this developer, Alexander Kogan, had sold data to Cambridge Analytica.
He looks like he is processing.
Did you or senior leadership do an inquiry to find out who at Facebook had this information, and did they not have a discussion about whether or not the users should be informed back in December of 2015?
Look at President Harris.
Senator, in retrospect, I think we clearly view it as a mistake that we didn't inform people, and we did that based on false information that we thought that the case was closed and that the data had been deleted.
So there was a decision made on that basis not to inform the users. Is that correct?
That's my understanding, yes.
I assume
that's your understanding? Is that your understanding,
Facebook's
homie?
Been served with subpoenas.
I be having understandings
from the special counsel's office. Is that correct?
Yes.
That dude is old.
Actually, let me clarify that. I actually am not aware of
a
subpoena. I believe that there may be, but I know we're working with them.
Thank you.
If I buy a Ford and it doesn't work well and I don't like it, I can buy a Chevy. If I'm upset with Facebook, what's the equivalent product that I can go?
This comes as from the New York Times.
The average American uses 8 different apps to communicate with their friends and stay in touch with people, ranging from texting apps to email.
It's the same service you provide.
Well, we provide a number of different services.
Is Twitter the same as what you do?
It overlaps with.
Look at I can't
get a monopoly.
You don't. He ties his tie the same way I do.
Feel like that to me.
He does a half. He does a half Windsor.
Do you need to look behind?
He says it didn't feel like it to me. It didn't feel like it to me. What y'all talking about?
He said they was taking some of my coins.
He said what y'all talking about?
He said it was in my pocket. That's why I had to buy Instagram.
This is business. He said y'all know what business is like.
The truth was right there.
He said how does that work?
The true, what lawyers would call beneficial owner of the site that is putting out
you don't think you have a monopoly?
Political material.
How convenient for you.
So what we're going to do is require a valid government identity, and we're going to verify the location.
Okay.
So we're going to do that, so that way someone sitting in Russia, for example, couldn't say that they're in America and therefore able to run an election ad.
But if they were running through a corporation domiciled in Delaware, you wouldn't know that they were actually a Russian owner.
No, I guess I wouldn't.
Senator, that's correct.
In 2004,
oh, Marky Mark. I almost feel for the dude. Except he made millions and millions of dollars.
Oh, my God. That's a good one.
And now he's trying to act. And to some degree, I think he didn't know. He has people to do these things.
Of course
That's why he pays the big bucks. He's doing foundations with his wife, raising babies.
He didn't know.
Living in his money.
He didn't know because...
Now he's like, well, I mean, I said, figure it out. So I just thought the case was closed. That is literally what he said. What? what? And
Look,
honestly, Senator Harris, because I've seen her lit into niggas' asses. She was going so gentle on him. She said, "So you did it?" Like the level, the timbre of her voice.
Look, she's a senator. She's his senator.
That maybe you didn't realize.
That's right. He's a contributor.
Before, with like, I don't know if it was Ben Carson or whoever. She's like, I don't understand. Like all of a sudden, that Oakland come out in her voice. She's like, so explain this to me, please, because she used to be a lawyer. Y'all
she definitely don't want no smoke.
She is a tiger.
Yes, but she don't want no smoke with no. No, she's not. She's not wanting no smoke. With,
okay, that was lovely.
Yeah, that was great. That was fantastic.
Thank you for sharing that. Oh, Mark. Well,
oh goodness.
I don't even know. I don't even know what do they do with our information.
Oh well, actually,
besides the past election. So
well, you know what?
We do it again, or
what's
the concern for an everyday Facebook user like myself?
Let's get it. Let's. We didn't get into it before, but let's actually continue with a little bit more New York Times. And there's another segment they got. We can make fun of this one too. Hold on, guys, bear with. Here we go.
I've taken a quiz online, something that looked like this. And if you did, you probably shared your personal data and your friends' personal data with the company that worked for President Trump's 2016 campaign.
Oh.
And your friends.
Here's how it happened.
I see. How did it happen?
It begins with the political consulting firm Cambridge Analytica. It partnered with a UK-based academic, Alexander Kogan, who was using Facebook data for research purposes.
Oh, you see what I'm saying, guys?
Quizzes were sent to around 300,000 Americans. They looked innocuous.
Damn.
Over 100 personality traits to agree or disagree with.
Oh, okay.
And you got paid less than $5.
Oh, you got paid for this?
But there was a catch.
What was the catch?
To take the survey, you had to log into Facebook, which gave Kogan access to your profile, including your birth date, location, and most importantly, your Facebook likes.
Damn.
Kogan combined the quiz results with your Facebook data to develop a psychometric model, a sort of personality profile. He then combined this with voter records and sent them to Cambridge Analytica.
Damn. I wonder how much you got paid for that shit.
That these models were the heart of how it profiled you. Your neuroses and other exploitative
neuroses! Oh, I got plenty of
Kogan and
neuroses.
CA didn't stop there.
What did they do?
They also grabbed the personal data of your Facebook friends and compiled similar profiles of them.
Damn.
Oh no.
In just months, 270,000 people took Kogan's survey.
Damn.
And the data of up to 87 million friends was also harvested.
Whoa.
Close to a quarter of all US Facebook users.
Whoa.
What? A quarter?
They then used that data to target people, maybe you, with political messaging.
Damn.
This targeting helped the Trump campaign strategy, but the campaign disputes this.
Wow.
Kogan's work
They're like, we
claims
just
to be for
paid you.
academic.
Wow.
We just paid you. I don't know that it helped us win. Really?
Damn,
really?
son.
That's crazy because I can't even do the math right now, but when I had heard it was almost 300,000, it never occurred to me, even as he's saying it had access to your friends' data, I thought it would be like another 500,000 or like maybe 1 million, but 87 million more people.
A quarter of Facebook users. 1, 2, 3.
I want to know how much Andrew got paid for all that shit. Let's see.
Goose.
Well, and you know what?
Goose.
I remember, I don't know if it was during the election that year or when, but it came across my awareness that logging into Facebook for those quizzes really did I knew it put my data out there. So I would do some that I really just wanted, like, what crystal and whatever is right for your astrological sign. But most of them I could stop. Like, I did it for maybe like a month or two, and then for like years I just stopped doing all those quizzes where you had to log in through Facebook. I was like, fuck that.
See, I never did that shit because I work in advertising and I knew what it was. And and I've always found it obnoxious. I mean, what it boils down to is that the terms of agreement that they force us to agree to do give them the ability to do whatever they want to do with your shit. And
people assume it's like, oh, I'm just going to get ads for something involved, a topic in the quiz,
Right.
If I do a quiz on crystals and astrology, then I'm going to see some of that shit pop up. But what they're saying, what they did is completely different. They took that information plus your likes and your profile plus the results from the quiz plus put it into the computer and spat out more likely if you would vote Democratic or Republican on particular issues based on the candidates and what the platform.
Well, even creepier, what they did was they did something that we do at our in advertising or in marketing in general, is we do psychographic research on people. We go in and we try to find out, what are your pain points? What do you feel that is causing you difficulty, even if it is not really a difficulty? And then we aim to try to solve that perceived problem. And that's called user experience. Like, there's an actual career out there devoted to people who do nothing but try to figure out what do you think is bothering you and what can we solve to charge you money, which may or may not actually be a real problem. You know what I mean? But
man,
it's a wild world there. Anyway, let's get into some more stuff.
So did they say it all? Like, I'd heard rumors, not that like I'm on the hill, but I guess I've seen headlines that they're already trying to use our data to affect the 2018 election.
100,000%.
So what are the now safe? I mean, that's this year. That's in a few months. So what are the fucking safeguards that have been put into place? Or how are we working on things so that by 2020, when it's another presidential election, all of these issues and kind of glitches and holes in the security have really been worked out?
This is a good question, but the real answer is nothing.
Oh, jeez.
We
need to fuck up people on welfare's lives.
Yeah, exactly. We gonna ride this Trump shit out until God willing in 2018 we midterm elections come up and we get some Democrats in office. I mean, listen, they're already mobilizing against this. They're already trying to drum up the Republican base by making this the election about impeachment, the impeachment election. So like anybody, if you love Trump, you got to turn out and vote for Trump or vote against Democrats because they're going to get into. And when I hear that, I'm like, once again, we are looking at the same facts and interpreting a different thing. Because I'm like, hell yes, let us make that the issue. Let us go forth and ride forth on a white horse and say yes. Vote for us and we will impeach Trump. Don't you want to see that? Don't you, America, you want to see Trump impeached.
Do you ever wonder why we don't ever really hear anything from the VP, Mike Pence? Like, I feel like we saw and heard from Joe Biden quite a bit. And it was a nice compliment to Obama. You saw side note, Joe Biden is on an episode of Oprah's Super Soul Sunday. Is dope.
I know it is, man. I think I heard that one.
It's good.
Yeah. Whenever he talks about his son,
my God. Oh, my God. His father and just growing up in Scranton or whatever the fuck.
It's real.
It's good. Okay, so, right. I feel like with these times when Trump is being like embroiled and stuff, or just all the things, they're supposed to work together as a team. And I think it says a lot of really, again, how Trump is failing as a president and as a leader when there's no space for his vice president to add, to bolster him up, to be a support. He could, even if the people who were like evangelical or whatever, who were more on Pence's side, like Trump is an idiot for not even using Pence to help comfort people who are now getting a little worried. Like, well, damn, why does Trump nigga acting crazy?
Actually, I think
he could use Pence.
I think Pence is a genius in that sense, man. I think Pence knows there's nothing to be gained by becoming more public. There's literally Pence's main power and usefulness is being able to break ties in the highly tieable Senate. You know what I mean? Like, that's real. He unlike most other vice presidents, increasingly the vice president has a very useful role in the Senate, which has been like balanced 49 to 51, like seemingly goddamn as long as I've been, voting. And we already know that his views are abominable, and he doesn't have I won't even say he doesn't have the charisma of a Trump, because he used to be a right-wing talk show guy. So it's not like he can't talk. It's that he doesn't have the license to kill that Trump has. Trump has a license to fucking kill. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I guess that's what I'm saying. I feel like there are people who voted for Trump who are not happy and who are less like, whatever the fuck he says. And I'm saying, again, this is just me thinking of strategy. Mm-hmm. It seems like it wouldn't hurt to have a Pence to then pick up all the people who are straggling.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody's straggling. That's the problem when you have a cult of personality.
I definitely think there's people in the middle.
No, there's not. But those people don't matter. That's the thing when it comes to a cult of personality and authoritarianism. The only people that matter are the true believers. If you're not a true believer, they just have less ways to split up the loot. You dig what I'm saying? Like, it's not. We're not talking about a system of ideals where it's like,
right. They're not also trying to help people.
Yeah, they're like,
Sorry,
well, okay,
I forgot.
Yeah, they're like, you don't want to be down with this fucking master scam. Well, goddamn it, we'll give your money to somebody else.
This is like in heaven. He's like, I have a basically no pressure job.
I have no responsibilities.
I just gotta be in the room with this crazy motherfucker.
Look,
we will get paid, and then we'll get paid forever. We have security forever.
Worst case scenario, I
don't know if he has kids. I don't know his what. You know what I mean? I don't never see none of them out. None of them.
Pence is like worst case scenario. I become president. Best case scenario, I get all this money, power, prestige, influence, absolutely complete immunity from anybody giving a fuck about who I actually am, and then then become president, right? Because I'm running after Trump.
He's young.
Then become, or Trump fucks up and he becomes president. So
man, we got to get our shit together.
It's all good.
Progressive
though.
left,
it's all good though in the
good
cosmic.
Always triumphs over evil, and the light will
by definition
come through the darkness. But it wouldn't hurt to also have like a strategy that we can really push nationally.
No, I mean, well, that's going to come, and I think I know what the basic things are. I mean, the basic struggles are the recognition of universal human dignity. This really hasn't changed.
Say that again. That's a word.
Yeah, universal human dignity. We don't talk about that anymore. But in the '60s, the reason that black people are special, if they're special for any reason, is that for a period of time in America, black people represented the struggle for universal human dignity. It wasn't because it was the singular struggle of a particular people in a particular country at a particular time. It was that, America, like Obama, for instance, purported to be a beacon of justice and rationality and rule of law. He said, I'm about that life. America claimed to be about that life.
Individual freedom.
You know what I'm saying? The dignity of all human beings, all that shit. Opportunity, economic opportunity. So when the rest of the world looked at us and was like, well, why are you fucking hosing these niggas? What is it? How does that tie into this overall?
Why are you still doing slavery? We stopped.
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, we're not even doing slavery. We off that. I thought we off that. What are y'all doing? Yeah.
What's all this? What's the lynching? Like, that seems like
y'all still doing that Jim. What's this Jim Crow shit we hear about? Yeah,
like you're still fucking with them.
Yeah, y'all in that Rhodesia
shit. And now, current day, okay, y'all just shooting them for like talking on the phone in the backyard.
That's right.
It seems like you're still fucking targeting them and taking them out.
But the reason it's muddy now is because black people have in some ways come of age in this country, and it's
not just black people who are being targeted.
It's not just black people. Now we're talking about Mexicans. We're talking about
the intersection.
This is the intersection. We're talking about transgender people. We're talking about LGBTQIA. We're talking about
disabled people. Yeah, immigrants, people of different faiths, Muslims, etc.
And honestly, I want to give a shout out to women because women have been the most ancient minority. They're the most ancient, quote unquote, minority. Which is a word a word without a meaning. But the most ancient oppressed people on the planet, and they still waiting. We giving everybody freedom, but you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's in line before women.
It's never universally given out.
That's all I'm saying.
Even with this tax thing,
right.
You get a little bit, you get a little bit. Right. What the fuck? Why can't we all get something? Why can't we all get it?
Right. You get a little more free. You get a little more free. Fuck you. You still a slave.
Yeah, pretty much. And we're kicking you the fuck out.
Right. So until we really commit to the concept of universal human dignity, really all of this shit stems out of that. All of the abuses that mankind and human beings can perpetuate each other are justified when you can make the exception. Where you can go like, yeah, we all deserve universal human dignity, except that motherfucker because he's a murderer.
People have to come from a place of love. Our society as a whole, globally, has to move closer to having love as their source of energy in life rather than fear.
But understanding that that's not no weak shit. You know what I mean?
No, it's the strongest fucking thing.
You feel me? It's like because
we can perceive. Look at all that it has caused.
Absolutely, and also
every day.
Think about how difficult it is. Seriously, think about how difficult it is. I gotta to love somebody, to forgive them. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, think about when I say to truly have universal human dignity, you do need to have the ability to forgive people who have done great wrong. Can you do that?
And create systems in place to bring them back in. Like you were talking about that African tribe, and I should know the name of them.
South Africa.
But when somebody fucks up, especially even an adult, but especially a child, the
Lesotho
village
tribe, I think,
surrounds them.
Yes.
And they would sing or chant things.
And people take turns telling them stories and reminding them of all the good things that they did in their life, because they recognize that who we are, our sense of identity, our sense of selfhood is largely tied up in how we think other people perceive us. You know, like super predators in the 90s, when you dug deep, when you dug past those kids, you know, the hard shell exterior of these thug ass kids in the 90s, and of which I was friends and grew up with, of which I could have very easily been, when you dug past that thug exterior, what you found on the inside was essentially a kid who was saying, these motherfuckers are not going to let me play anyway. They're not, this is not fair. You guys do not have the game set up in such a way that I can win, so why the fuck should I pretend? I'm not, you know what I'm saying? They're not dumb enough yet. They're not brainwashed enough by adulthood and middle-agedhood to be like, oh, this is why you pretend. They never
are. They're put into environments with the school system or their neighborhoods and their resources where they immediately have to become aware.
Yes.
You know, exactly. At some point, at an early age, as a child, they become aware of how unfair life is for them because of their skin color.
Yes. Because their economic status.
This is United States. I'm gonna be, we gotta be real.
Yes.
I'm not saying every person is racist, but the institution of how you survive in United States of America society.
No, I will say it.
Heavily predicated on race.
I will say it. Every person is racist, guys. If you're not willing to accept that, then you're not willing to do the work. It's like Christianity. If you're a Christian, nobody who's Christian can be like, everybody has sinned but me.
We're definitely all working towards more self-awareness and more.
Because it's not just America that's racist. Because it's not just America that's racist. Racism predates America. We didn't invent the shit. You see what I'm saying, guys? Sexism. We didn't invent that. We didn't start the fire.
Which is why it has to become a global issue.
Yeah.
It already is a global issue. What has
changed now is that my wife and I have access to the internet and we can put our voices out there. What has changed is that you can now put your voice out there, that you have a cell phone, that you have access to information. You can speak up. Yes.
You can record things. You can share information.
That's right. And you know you're not alone. You know that when you say these things, you're not alone. Like that kid on the gun walkout day, that the kid who was the one kid to walk out of his school, and he was the only kid to walk out of his school, and it was like he was on his phone on Facebook Live, like, I can't believe this shit. I'm the only one out here, but at least he could do that and immediately have the arms of the internet wrap themselves around
I heard,
you know what I mean?
Didn't he join like a walkout at a nearby high school? Like he was in middle school. And he joined the nearby high school kids.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know that was the...
I think so. I think I read that.
I'm going to accept that was the truth because that's the truth.
It's a wonderful ending, right? To the story. I totally see.
We're in Hollywood and that's the ending that we're writing.
That's what I'm writing.
That's the Hollywood ending. Oh, we got to start a segment called Hollywood Ending where we take some terrible, tragic shit and rewrite it into like the best possible version.
I love that.
It's coming soon, guys. Hollywood Ending is coming soon. I like that.
High five.
Boom. That's a great idea.
All right.
Okay, let's move on.
Wrap it up.
Let's wrap that up. Let's talk about some let's see if I have any more politics news here.
Let's do some shout outs and wrap it all up.
Okay, you want to call it short? You want to make it short?
What I want to talk about, T'Challa, Black Jeopardy on SNL. That was hilarious.
That was everything.
If you haven't.
Okay.
Obviously Atlanta, the Teddy Perkins episode. I can't go into it, but
listen to
We Come From Bad News, or the other podcast.
Yeah.
Cardi B living her best life, growing life, all that good thing. People want to hate, love it. Oh, did you read about the Joanne Reed and Killer Mike?
Yes,
fiasco.
That was one. I mean, that was okay coming from motherfucking Wakabi's fealty. That was a moment of beauty.
Yeah. So Joanne Reed, who's a broadcaster on MSNBC or whatever, journalist.
Yes.
She posted something and had 2 other people in the picture, and she was talking about like her shoot and outfit, and then at the very end, she like tagged people and she was like, "Yeah, they were great. Thank you, H&M." So Killer Mike decided he needed to get on his high horse and at her in her comments.
Getting her, yep.
And be like, oh, I guess the boycott against like subtweeted her or whatever. Oh, I guess the boycott on H&M is over. I was like, really, nigga? Like, that's what you want to take your time to do? And then the bitch, not even, the badass bitch, Joanne Reed, came back and was like, listen, dummy, H&M stands for hair and makeup. So you can take your bullshit and go back where the fuck
I thought you were an
from.
She said, I thought you were an intellectual, Mike. I thought you were an intellectual, Mike.
Yeah, and then sometimes, I mean, we're still going to see those kind of quote-unquote mistakes where this call-out culture, people are quick to just comment on something without really verifying the validity of it.
Yes.
Because,
well, the good news is that they made up, and apparently he's going to be on her show,
of course,
to have a discussion about this, which I'm glad. I'm actually glad. I think this is the right paradigm. The paradigm is nobody wins when the family feuds, and there's I don't have any reason to want Killer Mike to be canceled from the podcast. I mean, from the Cookout, the podcast. You're welcome on the podcast anytime.
Totally.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like if anything happened in Black Panther that I learned was basically like, I feel like that scene was always the most moving when he's like, "Would you kill me, my love?" And she's like, "For Wakanda, nigga, in a hot minute."
Yeah, she did.
In a hot minute.
She's a general though too. I mean, of all people.
Right, of all people to yeah, exactly. But I really just I really appreciated it, and I felt like ever since then I've been in the spirit of like anybody that's willing to make contrition, and look, I accept that Black people being the decentralized thing that we are, everyone is free to interpret, proper contrition in their own way, right? But what I'm saying is that once a majority of us are like, fuck it, you can come back to the Cookout. Like, I'm already at the point where Michael Steele, as fucked up as he was and as outrageous as he was during the time, I'm like, I can't think of a single thing that this man is capable of doing to actually hurt people. So
no, I think especially how they dissed him basically out and out, and it was like, oh yeah, the only reason we made him the chair is because he was black.
Because he was black. And
then they like didn't invite him to the new thing, and it was like he was like I'm still a Republican. They was like, oh yeah, we don't need you no more.
I'm like,
I don't know. I think he and Omarosa and those type, they gotta sit at like the kiddie table.
They do gotta sit at the kiddie table. They 100%, yes,
separate from the rest of us.
But one thing I don't want blackness to lose, if there is anything about blackness, because if we want to own blackness as a concept, blackness is the universe. It's the infinite dark matter of creation. It's the cosmos. It's the all encompassing. It's the womb. There is nothing that is excluded. If there is anything that differentiates blackness as a virtue, is that everyone is welcome. We do not exclude people from this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what white people do. White people say, "Oh, this motherfucker doesn't look Nordic enough. Oh, his lips are too thick. His skin is too dark. His hair is too kinky. You can't fuck with us. You can't be a part. You can't sit at this table. You can't be a part of this bounty, this plenty." And I'm saying, no. If there's anything righteous about blackness, again, going back to like, if there's anything special about being black people, it's because we stand for universal human dignity. If it's not for that shit, then it's for nothing. Okay, let's do some shout-outs. Shout-outs. These are some people that supported episode 87 on SoundCloud. Nobody supported us on iTunes. Apparently nobody's listening to us on iTunes. I know that is not true. There's so many downloads on iTunes. We had 500 downloads last week, people. Come on now. I love you. All I'm asking for is for you to take 5 to 10 minutes. Go to iTunes. Go to Stitcher, please. Leave us a comment. Make it 5 stars. We need you to do this because I'm asking you to. And it's like when you have a child and you're like the one. It doesn't even fucking matter. You're just like, will you please eat with the fork? I don't even really give a fuck. I just want you to put the food in your mouth. But I keep telling you to put the food in your mouth anyway. So shout out to Ebonics. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Love that avatar.
Fantastic. We love anime here. Damn We Grown podcast.
Hey.
I swear we're going to have a joint podcast with them very soon.
Emailed us or messaged us.
It is. We're definitely going to make it happen. Fish and Grits podcast, which is a new one. We appreciate you guys. I'm going to take a listen to you guys this week. The Chef, The Angry, and the Adam podcast. Okay. The Chef. I got to listen to you guys. I'm following you right now. I'm gonna listen to you guys. 2 Squares podcast. Just Say Words. I want to have Just Say Words on. I want to have Just Say Words podcast.
Thank you for the repost.
We appreciate it. The John Effect podcast. Negrophilia. Ooh. Great name for a podcast. You guys have reposted this for. We appreciate it. Of course, Al Diddy, my partner in crime, on We Come From Bad News, and an honest conversation about hip hop. Also,
lovely. I like that.
Also, in general, I just always want to give a shout out to Talk It Out podcast, who I love, been on the podcast before, and also, man, the wine just got to me. Anyways, we love you. Thank you so much for supporting us and all of this good stuff. Do we have anything else to talk about?
I don't think so.
Let me see if I just one more sweet.
There's always bits and pieces,
and there's always so many important things. But we did talk about a ton on We Come From Bad News, and I did post that to the feed. So, Cosby is currently
the trial's back on.
Yeah, he's doing it. Like they're actually, oh shit, we're not recording. We weren't recording.
What do you mean? After a certain time.
God damn it!
Why did you stop?
I don't know, but like
the shout-outs? Do the shout-outs again?
Oh, God. Okay, we got to do the shout-outs again because the recording went out. Oh, my God. I can't believe it. So, guys on the live cast, bear with us. Jesus Christ. We had a lot more content for you. I don't even know where it cut out. We cut out Mike Pence. It cut out Mike Pence on the podcast. Maybe I'll just release the video from the live cast. I don't even know. Oh my God, it's been a long night. Okay, so thank you. Shout out to Ebonics. We appreciate you. Shout out to Damn We Grown podcast, Fish and Grits podcast, The Chef, The Angry, and The Adam. These were so much better podcasts when we said them earlier. 2 Squares podcast, Just Say Word podcast, The John Effect podcast, Negrophilia, Al Diddy from We Come From Bad News, and An Honest Conversation. And again, now we have to bring it up again.
Honest conversation in hip hop. What is it about hip hop?
Oh, an honest conversation about hip hop. There's no such thing, but I can't wait to listen to your podcast. Okay, so because the podcast didn't record, we have to bring it up again. Oh my God.
No, I can't.
Okay, well let me bring it up again. We just have to just mention the event with Killer Mike, where
I have to pee. I cannot talk about this again.
You got.
I'm sorry. It's gotten ultra real.
Okay, so very, very quickly, Killer Mike called out Joy Reid for mentioning in her Twitter feed that she was grateful for the H&M. If you got to go pee, fantastic. Come back. We can finish it out.
No, I want this.
Called out H&M. He mistook H&M, which she was using as hair and makeup, to be the company of which she had had recently been held accountable for.
We were supposed to be boycotting.
We're supposed to be boycotting because they put out that Coolest Monkey in the Jungle thing, and he's in hot water because he did a video with the NRA with a guy who changed his name to Noir, which is the weirdest shit for a black person to do. But he did that, and he got called out, and she spanked him like Okaya and Wakabi, like the queen that she is. And later they made up. And I'm glad that they made up because nobody wins when the family feuds, really. It really is a good thing that we can arrive at something that isn't this cancellation culture. Instead, make this move to accountability culture, right? Where we want to hold people accountable, but we don't want to excise the Omarosas and the Michael Steeles of the world. We want to sit them at the kiddie table and make them fucking mind their manners and learn how to be good citizens of the cookout, but we don't want to excise people because if there's anything that blackness stands for, it's inclusion, and we're not the white people who are saying that your nose is too angular or your lips are too thin or your eyes are not blue enough. You're out of the fucking part and you can't benefit from the American the experiment of America and all this shit. Blackness is the womb of the cosmos. It's all embracing. It's everyone is included. Everyone is in there. And that's all I want to say about that. And honey, do you have anything you want to leave the people with before you have to go?
No, I don't think so.
All right then.
You said it so wonderfully.
Well, I did have the benefit of us having discussing it for 25 minutes and me having to summarize that into essentially 4 minutes. You're welcome. I'm sorry if you guys were counting on this to take you through your whole day, but that's why I gave you We Come From Bad News to also we're going to release another podcast that my wife.
Yes, I had a name.
Yes.
Had it all ready to release, and then I was like, I don't like this name. Came up with a new name. Thank you to the homie and friend and sister girl, Star.
Yes.
Who helped me with a new name, Off the Page with Melissa Kay. That will be my interview conversation art thing. And that should be coming out, what's today, Tuesday? It can come out at the end of the week.
I thought we would just record the thing tonight, and
that's not happening.
All right, fair enough, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening. Oh my God, sorry that it was weird. It was weird.
It's always weird.
It's always a little weird, and we know that you love us, and we love you. Thank you for listening. Have a good week. Stay up.
That's right. And I plan to do another.
Drink your water.
We're going to do another one of these on the weekend, so we'll be right back at you very soon. All right, I love you guys.
Be blessed. Stay woke.
Peace.